what are the top 10 bits of essential kit am I going to be using this winter to keep me out on the road no matter what the conditions? Well, stick around and I'll tell you. Welcome back to the channel. I'm John, the Ribble Valley Cyclist. It's cold, it's wet, it's windy, it's getting dark at God knows what time. It is officially winter and it is officially pants. Behind you is a big set of windows and the wind and the rain are lashing against them. And after I've done this video, I'm going to go for a ride on the bike. Just because it's like that out there doesn't mean we can't get out on our bikes. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 bits of kit that allows me to ride in places like that at minus whatever for God knows how many hours and then get home and think, amazing, loved it, great bike ride. Right, got a cup of coffee, got my laptop, because there's no way I'm going to remember what order the list went in. Let's crack on. Right, so let's get on with the list. Number 10. Bike lights. Yeah, I know it's a bit boring, a bit predictable, a bit obvious, but you know what, for me, essential bit of kit, because I don't want to go out on my bike at 8 o'clock in the morning because it's absolutely freezing, but I want to go out on my bike and do a decent bike ride. So this gets rid of that 3 o'clock winter ride anxiety. You can have these stuffed in your pocket, you can be out on your bike, and if you're finding you're having a really good ride, but it's starting to get a little bit, and you're thinking, am I going to get back in time? And yeah, you end up with that 3 o'clock winter anxiety. Just shove a set of these in your back pocket, and you can carry on riding. So there you go, that's got rid of the boring one. Number 10, gone. Right, number 9, the winter pouch. Now, we all know someone that's got the best bike going, the Pinarello Dogma F. He's got the all singing, all dancing lightweight wheels. He's got the full Dura Ace group set. He's got the Rafa kit. He's got absolutely everything. And he hasn't got one of these. And he uses one of these instead. He's got a 10 grand bike, wearing a grand's worth of kit, and he keeps his phone and his money in one of these. Sort yourself out. £5 or €5 and you can get yourself one of these. Trouble is with these, they're great for the first few times, but then what happens is the top opens and then it just fills with water and you end up wrecking whatever's in it. So yeah, spend £5/€/dollars, whatever, and buy yourself a pouch, you cheapskate. Right, number 8. So number 8 is one of my first bits of kit that's not actually a bit of cycling kit. The Snood. Absolutely love it. Fantastic bit of kit. So when you're out on your bike and you've got your neck all exposed and the wind's blowing against your neck and you get all cold around here, completely unpleasant. Put this little there around your neck like that, keeps you lovely and warm. It's one of those crazy things that you wouldn't expect to work, but does. You get a little bit of cold, pop it up, and if you get super, super cold, then you can put it all the way up and use it as a full balaclava. Amazing bit of kit, keeps you so warm and so simple to use. Most people might already have one of these kicking around in a drawer somewhere. Athletics companies give them away for nothing. Check my one out. Got this one given to me at Fred Whitten. Fred Whitten, check me out. Superstar cyclist. And then, you know what, if you've got to buy one, they're a £5. So treat yourself to one. Well worth it. You keeps you so warm. Tiny little thing that makes all the difference. Right, let's crack on with the list. Number 7 on the list, socks. Now when it comes down to summer cycling, yeah, you know what? Cycling socks, yeah, I get it. They're engineered for summer conditions and they look cool and they work really, really well. But I'll be totally honest with you. When it comes down to winter cycling, wearing full bib tights, shoes, overshoes, I just don't bother with summer cycling socks because I find the way they're designed and the way they're all ribbed and everything, they end up, if your feet get wet, they just end up rubbing your feet. When I'm out on my bike in the winter, I just wear either a thick pair of normal, good quality cotton socks, or I wear a pair of walking socks. My rule on this one is experiment, try different things. Try a pair of walking socks, try a good quality pair of thick socks, try 2 pairs of thin socks, try a thick pair and a thin pair. Experiment. You would be surprised. You don't need special, technical, all singing, all dancing cycling socks when you're out on your bike in the winter. Yeah, they look cool when you're out in the summer, you know, the latest crisp pair of socks, but in the winter, you don't need them. Don't bother. Get yourself a pair of good quality walking socks. Right. Number 6 on the list. A merino wool base layer. Took me a while to get on this one, but when I did, I was like, my God, why didn't I do that ages ago? The only regret I've got about buying this base layer is I didn't buy a pair of them. I've got to get myself another one this year. This is a cheap and cheerful DHB one off of Wiggle. It costs £25. They come in various gradients, like 100, the thickness, I can't remember exactly what the thickness is, it's grams or something like that. There's a 100, a 200 and a 300. This one is a 200, and honestly, I can't stress it enough. This makes such a difference. Long sleeve one, all around your body. It just acts like a little insulating radiator and keeps you so warm. Get yourself one of these, £25. You will not regret buying one of these. Right, we're into the top 5. And at number 5, one that's really important to me and I've suffered with for years. Gloves. Right, before we go into specifics, let me just address something that I have struggled with. Waterproof gloves. Now, in my opinion, the hunt for the elusive waterproof glove is a complete waste of time, because we all spend loads and loads of money on all singing, all dancing, flash jackets and jerseys and stuff that we demand wicks water really, really fast. And where do you think that water is going to go? Gravity is going to take over and it's going to run straight down your arms and straight down your sleeves and fill up your gloves. So in my opinion, you could be wearing a pair of marigolds, a pair of rubber gloves, and you would still get wet hands because your gloves would fill with water. So in my opinion, I no longer even bother with waterproof. All I care about is how warm they are and dexterity feeling the bike. Okay. Now, if you have found a glove and a way around this problem, and you keep perfectly dry hands when it's absolutely thrashing it down out there, please, please, please comment. I want to hear from you. I want to know you've done it, and I want you to share the knowledge. Right, okay, so right, on we go. Gloves. So these are what I call my spring and autumn gloves. These cost roughly £30/euro from Sportful, and for spring and autumn, they're all right. Or you can spend twice the amount of money and you can buy yourself a pair of these bad boys. These are the Sportful Deep Winter Glove, or whatever they call them. These cost twice as much as those. These cost roughly £60, but they're not twice the glove. They're just a little bit better than those ones. So I don't really rate them. When it's really, really cold, I reach for these gloves. No idea who makes them. Haven't got a clue. These are the warmest gloves I own, and when it's really, really cold and horrible, these are the ones I reach for. As I say, I don't know who makes them. I'll find out. I bought them on Amazon. They were £11.99. They're not even cycling gloves. This is my last bit of kit that is not cycling specific kit. I think they're described as sports gloves. And as I say, they're £11.99 and they're the best gloves I've got, I think, because these have just arrived in the post. These are the new Thermos gloves from Spatz. Remember that name, we'll be coming back to that name in a minute. Now, these are supposed to be the best cycling gloves you can buy. Now, I've ridden with them once and I reserve judgment. I need to do some proper unpleasant bike rides, and I'm going to do a completely separate video on these gloves once I've given them a thorough going over. So this whole gloves comment may be completely irrelevant, and these gloves may change everything, and they may well even change the way that this top 10 list is laid out. I'll come back to you on that one. Right, onwards and upwards. Number 4, just missing a place in the top 3. Give me a second. Winter cycling boots. Now, I'm not going to tell you a specific brand or a specific product, because these are mine. First of all, these are Northwave GTX Flash, something like that. Okay, can't remember. But what I do know is I cycle with a lot of people in the club and pals and stuff, and no two people have the same ones. But every single person that has got a pair of these, me included, says if you're going to be cycling through the winter, you really need a pair of these. Now, I know these are waterproof. The reason I know these are waterproof is because one day I cycled through something rather unpleasant, and I got them and I put them in a bowl of water. And I came back a little while later, and there they were, floating around like a couple of little rubber duckies. They're just bouncing around on the water. These, from this section down, they are completely airtight and completely watertight. And most of the boots that are like this are exactly like that. So my number 4, if you're really serious about your winter cycling, you need to ditch the summer shoes and get yourself a pair of winter specific cycling boots. If you imagine the tyres going through all the wet, going through all the crud, think how close your feet are to that, spinning around, get yourself a pair of those boots. Now, if you've experienced a pair of these boots and there's a specific one that you think are well worth it, I'm a big fan of the Northwave. There's the Shimano ones, but if you've got another brand that you want to recommend, put a description down below and tell us what works for you. Right, onwards and upwards, clear the decks a bit, and let's pull in the top 3 for me. Right, into the top 3. And at number 3 is this. The GORE Shakedry jacket. I say the GORE jacket, any Shakedry jacket. Shakedry's been with us a little while now, but in the grand scheme of things, it is the latest all singing, all dancing technical material for rain. This material is 100% waterproof. No matter how hard it rains, the water beads on this jacket and it does not get through. Rain does not get through this jacket. I've had this jacket for well over a year now. It's already done one winter season and it is still 100% waterproof. I should imagine it will always be 100% waterproof. It is an amazing bit of kit. Now, I've done a video specifically about this one. You can click up there and it will also be linked at the end. I'll link all my top 3, I'll link at the end, and I'll also link this and every other item in the description below. But there you go, that is my number 3. I won't bang on about it because, as I say, I've done a separate video on it, and if you want some detail about this particular jacket, watch that video. If you're into getting winter jackets, watch the video about this jacket, very informative. So that is my number 3. And on to now number 2 in the same area, still a jacket. The Castelli Alpha Ross, or winter jacket. Ross stands for rain or shine. This is an amazing jacket. It's primarily designed to keep you warm and keep the wind out. This uses another jacket that uses GORE material actually. This uses GORE Infinium, which has got wind stopper and also insulation. So this is designed for when you're up in these passes, up in places like this, God knows how many feet in the air, with God knows how many minus degrees. This is designed to keep you warm in those extreme conditions, and it does an amazing job. And it's yet again, there's a separate review on this. Find that up there, or I'll link it at the end, and I'll also link it in the description below. But my number 2 is the Castelli Alpha Ross winter jacket. So good. This is my second one. I bought my first one 4 years ago, and I've only just bought this one because I was that impressed by it. I bought myself another one. Right, now onto the big one, my personal number 1 bit of cycling kit. Now, if you found this interesting so far, do me a favour, hit that like button. Really helps promote the channel. Right, okay, onto my number 1 bit of cycling kit. Drum roll. The Spatz Roadman 3 Overshoes. So prior to owning these overshoes, my experience of every other pair was they were complete rubbish. They didn't keep your feet warm, they didn't keep your feet dry, they didn't fit properly, and then when they'd finished being rubbish at all of that, they then fell to pieces. And you'd be out on your bike and you'd be out in the cold in the winter and you'd start getting the whole overshoe foot anxiety where you're thinking to yourself, you know, if I go through a puddle when I'm 30 miles from home in the -2, I'm going to end up with freezing cold feet for the rest of the day and it's going to be completely unpleasant. I no longer, that stuff doesn't even enter my mind anymore. It hasn't entered my mind for the last year and a half. This is my second winter using these overshoes. And the reason that those problems don't enter my mind is because I've got a pair of these. It's just not a problem anymore. The guy that invented these, the guy, absolute genius, the best bit of cycling kit, bar none, for winter cycling. Now, the brand, Spatz, you may recall I mentioned this earlier. That is because of these gloves. Now, one of the reasons I think that these gloves are going to change my whole opinion on gloves and change this list is not so much because what people are saying about them, and they are saying quite a lot, it's my experience of these. These are that good. If you want to see a review on these, click that link up there. I'll link it at the end and I'll link it in the description because well worth looking into a pair of these if you're into your winter cycling. Honestly, can't stress it enough. I won't bang on anymore about it. I can't stress it enough. Now, as I was saying, if you want to see my next video, hopefully I'll get the video out in the next week or so. I've got a day job, you know, it's not the only thing I do. So hopefully I'll get the video out in the next week or so. I want to do a bit more riding. I've done some stuff with these already, but I've not finished getting an opinion because I've not ridden in weather that is unpleasant enough yet. So yeah, but as I say, it's quite unpleasant at the moment. So hopefully I can do a decent test on those. Hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified when I do this video. And if you found this helpful and useful, hit that like button. But also, if you think I've missed something off, which there are a few bits I have missed off, to be honest, because it's a top 10. Nobody wants a top 12 or a top 13, do they? So yeah, I have missed things off. Like I haven't even mentioned like winter bib tights. So, but you know, if there's anything that you've tried on this table that you've experienced and you've got an opinion on it, positive or negative, let me know, but let the other people know. Share your knowledge and let people know what's worked for you as winter kit. If I missed something glaringly obvious, put a comment below. Hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching. Cheers.